I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 is in theaters, and I gotta tell you, my initial reaction to this movie was, well, am I gonna like this new cast? How are they gonna work in the older cast to this movie? And I just want to see how this all comes together. And I think, for the most part, it came together fairly well. I enjoyed what they did with it. In fact, there's a couple of scenes in this movie where it just put a big, huge smile on my face because there's some Easter eggs in here that they managed to keep well hidden from, like, movie pundits and movie fanatics like me. There's just a scene in here where I was just like, this has to be CGI, right? This is a deep fake or something, but okay, it's in the movie. I'm like, this is fantastic. I can't believe this. Like, towards the end, there was a couple of scenes where it's just like a big smile on my face because if you don't know, I was a fan of the original. I liked that first movie where, it was Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie Prinze Jr., and Ryan Phillippe, right? Very 90s. And this movie, this new one, did a good job of, like, throwing back to some of those old images, right? Because that's Ryan Phillippe in the shower and then the new guys in the shower. And I didn't think that I would like the new cast at first. It took a while for the movie to establish them. And I was like, okay, guys, do we really need to build these relationships? We know they're going to get killed by the bad guys. But then I found that, oddly enough, I was kind of like, this younger cast has got some good chemistry. And I think it pays off that they spent time there in the beginning setting them up. Now, who's the new cast? Let's go over to the IMDb here, and I'll tell you who they are. Obviously, we've seen from the trailers, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt are going to be back in this one, but Madeline Klein is in this one. She was in Glass Onion. You might recognize her from that. Chase Sui Wonders, Jonah Howard King, and Tyreek Withers. Oh yeah, and Sarah Pigeon rounds out the cast here. It's basically those five, right? Those are the five. And I want to highlight Tyreek here. Is that how you... Tyreek Withers. He plays like the Ryan Phillippe muscle lunkhead kind of character, and you're like, I'm not going to like this guy because he's just a blowhard kind of. But by the end of it, you're like, okay, I'm kind of rooting for him to be like help this group along, right? To try to survive. Very interesting casting there. And then I got to give a shout out to Freddie Prinze Jr. here too. He has been acting, guys. He's been doing stuff. So I was under the impression that he was out of the game, right? He's been with his family, but when you look at his resume, he's been doing voice work. He's been doing the odd cameo here and there. Nothing really too serious. Maybe a Punky Brewster TV show. It was cool seeing him back. And I'll tell you this, he's still got it. He's still got that presence on screen where you're like, oh, no, yeah, I can see why people liked him in the first place, right? And then, of course, if you don't know, I am a Jennifer Love Hewitt fan. I mean, I even have one of her CDs. Yes, she likes to sing, oddly enough. Can I Grow Now? And Bare Naked. But it is what it is. I was just like, the first movie was from my generation, and it was kind of cool to see how they were going to hand this off because the legacy characters were in here, and I felt like they were well used, but I don't think everybody liked this movie, going by what the tomato meter is here, right? 37% by critics, 67% by the audience, and I think maybe that long intro to get everybody established will rub people the wrong way, but it kind of worked for me. And then, as I said, this movie's got a couple of scenes in here where it just put a big smile on my face. It was cool seeing Freddie Prinze Jr. act with Jennifer Love Hewitt again. I'm sorry. I just like that stuff. For me, that was the payoff. So, that being said, let's go over to my score sheet and start filling in some numbers before we go back to the tomato meter and start looking at some of those snapshot reviews. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Directing, cinematography, and score are 1 point. The acting, guys, is fairly... you would think for a movie like this, it's serviceable. But because you like the new cast, and because it's cool to see the legacy characters back in this, I was like, as I said, there's a good, really good scene in here with Freddie Prinze Jr. where you're like, yeah, no, he's a good actor, right? And it's cool to see him back. But then all the younger characters there, as I said, that Tyreek guy, you buy into them. You buy into what they're trying to do, and I went with it. Directing, the execution of the story, I think, was competently done. As I said, there could be a few long points in there for some people. I felt like it wrapped up a little too quick at the end because it was literally to the last 10 minutes. I did not know who the killer was. I couldn't figure it out. And that's maybe I got to give another point for the execution of the story for that, because I couldn't see it coming. They pulled the rope a dope a couple times where it's like, oh, it's definitely that guy. No, it's definitely her, or it's going to be a team, and it's like they pulled the rug out on you on this one a couple times because they know what horror fans and what the audience would be expecting from this, and I would commend them for making a bold choice. They do, and I think it's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, but I'm like, okay, that. I'll go with it because it serves this movie. It serves this movie. Story-wise, I'm also going to give 1.5 because, guys, I'm sorry. As I said, some of those rope-a-dope kind of pulling the rug out, it took me by surprise. And at the end, I was just like smiling for the last half of this movie. Once everything's going in motion, there was just scene after scene of, I didn't think I would see this again. I really didn't think I would see this again. I'm just happy. I was just sitting in the theater with a big smile on my face going, wow. Cinematography is competent. I mean, I guess you could say that there's some good drone shots. It's competently framed. Yeah, why not? I'll give that a full 1 point. Score. Now, this may be a little bit controversial. I think the soundtrack worked for the movie. Was it as iconic as the original score? I was waiting for a few of oh, okay, that's a cool beat. Oh, no, that's a cool needle drop. It had it in there. It may not resonate. Maybe it didn't resonate with me because it's the newer age of music, but I could totally give the score a full point, but for me, I'm going to hold off on that right now. And I'm going to go back to the tomato meter now and try to reconcile why everybody, because see, I'm sitting at a 6 out of 10 right now. And I guess that's about what the audience is. But I don't know what the critics are pulling this apart for. So let's just take a look, shall we? When the best its makers can muster up is some basic competence lubricated by those aforementioned dollops of nostalgia, it's worth wondering whether any of this was worth doing in the first place. No, I don't agree with that. I think it was totally worthwhile to do. And I'm so happy that the way they were able to work things in. I was totally happy. 3 out of 10. So this person really didn't like it. An unnecessary and forced comeback drowning in misguided nostalgia. I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025 adds nothing new, recycles tired formulas, and fails as both horror and drama. A soulless, tensionless slasher. Okay, so that sounds like somebody who's watched a lot of this stuff. And I guess if you didn't grow up with that first one, then you might have that opinion about it. The revelation of the killer's identity and motives makes even less sense than things usually do. And by the finale, the script was veered away almost entirely from the idea of deserved comeuppance in its haste to set up a sequel. Well, this movie does have a post-credit scene. And it's a cool post-credit scene. I'm sorry. If you like the first I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I Know What You Did Last Summer too, they poke fun at themselves in this movie. It's like, you don't really want to run away to the tropics. And it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. And the lines in here, they pay homage to like the outrageousness that people had about that first one, where it's like, what are you waiting for, huh? Right? Remember that line where she's like, what are you waiting for, right? And as cheesy as it seems now that it plays out, I was really, really happy that they paid homage to that and even found a way to slightly have it come back a little bit and have a little bit of redemption for Jennifer Love Hewitt with that particular line. I thought that was a lot of fun. And if you didn't know, this is the reveal of the killer scene. So I agree. It's not the greatest of movies. Like it's not Shakespeare, and I don't think it was ever trying to be Shakespeare. But I had fun with it. I could say that yes, the runtime is a touch long. Let's see what the audience says here. A twist on an original acting was little cheesy, but I liked it. Really gnarly kill scenes. And it does have some brutal kill scenes. It does. I mean, that's what we signed up for, right? Great. Love this as an extra or a reboot to the original. The original cast added was the best plus to this. This movie, you just kept on guessing till the end. And that's what I was saying. I didn't know who the killer was because they kept pulling the rug out. And you think that you got it pegged. Oh, it's that person. Oh, for crying out loud, it's going to be that person, right? This is so lazy. This is so ridiculous. But no, they actually try to make it revealing where it's like, that's bold. Okay. TP, awesome, good movie and good plot with thrilling scenes. Austin B says, cheesy, nothing really happened, boring. Well, unless you saw a bunch of... That person must not have been paying attention to all the people getting killed. Such a great movie, and connecting it to the original was perfect. And that's when I got to echo too, that how it connected to the original was very clever. And while it covered some of the exact same story beats of the original, it tied in the legacy characters well enough for me. And that's where I got to say, hey, out of all the movies out there, guys, this is as a matinee. This is a good quality streamer, and I think this will have a second life on the streaming services because people will see it and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, no, I remember that from when I was growing up. I like that." Because as far as other movies go out there right now, that guys, you've got Smurfs, 21%, and you've got Eddington, 67%. So. At least with I Know What You Did Last Summer, you're going to have some cool music, some good kills, a little bit dry for some. But I think overall, as I said, there's a couple scenes in here. If you're a fan of the original, you will be, yeah. I can't believe they did this, right? Anyway, let's just wrap this up because I'm rambling on here. Watchability factors out of a possible 2 points. So for me, if you like the original and you want to see where this goes, it's worth seeing at least once. Would I watch it again? I would on streaming, but I don't think I would watch it again in theaters. It's not something that I would rush back to. So, yeah, no, I would totally watch it again. 7.5. That's a little high for a movie that I would agree. It's not Shakespeare here, guys. But I like the fact that I think this was a good, solid attempt to try to reboot this to the newer generation. I think it did it fairly successfully. So, what did you guys think? I Know What You Did Last Summer. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Hey, if you like this kind of thing, we're going to be talking about a new horror movie coming out next week called Together, starring Dave Franco and Alison Brie, where they kind of have to get stuck together and their skin melts into each other. What the heck is going on with this one? Oi! We'll talk about it right here on Mirror Domains.